Hey guys, I'm Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about open D tuning. Today's going to be a fun day. We're going to walk through some of my favorite tips and tricks in open D tuning, and we're going to learn a little bit of that snippet from One Last Breath. Hold me now. Okay, I'm sorry I did that. As always, there are links in the bio for all the tabs and everything you're going to need to follow along today, so make sure and check out the bio. Also, don't want to forget that there is a full cover of this song on my YouTube channel. I'm going to link it somewhere in this video magically that you can go and watch so you can get a little context for what the whole arrangement sounds like. And I've also got tabs for that full arrangement over on my Patreon, which is also linked in my bio. Now I can remember, this is probably the year 2010, I can remember sitting in my buddy Jimmy's office, and Jimmy and I began to tinker around with different tunings on the guitar. Open D became a real favorite of mine, just being that it was so easy to get to, and there were so many things that I could do that sounded good that I didn't have to work too hard to achieve. So let's go ahead and put our guitar in open D to make sure that we understand how to get there. D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. So by itself, it already sounds good. You're already making a good sound just by strumming open strings. So for example, if I apply the principle of barring, what that would mean is anywhere along the neck of the guitar that I play a single fret, I'm gonna get a major chord. So that's kind of nice. Now, fast forward several years from there, I started to mess around with making my own arrangements of songs. One of the first tunes I ever remember arranging was Still the One by Shania Twain. And I can remember going through that process and just learning so much about the tuning from picking out the melody and trying to put it together with some chords. And I think that's probably my favorite part of open D. You can play such a wide variety of chords and bass notes and melodies in this tuning. It's very approachable. It's not the most difficult tuning to conceptualize. It has pretty easy shapes. There isn't a lot of mystery about this tuning. For example, just strumming the open strings is a chord. So that sounds good. You're already sounding good just by strumming the open strings. If you can get your guitar in tune, you're going to sound good. So I really like that about this tuning. So let's take a look at the scale in the open position for open D tuning. Here's what it sounds like. Just like that, we've got the scale. All right, so now that we've taken a look at the scale, let's take a look at a couple of other ways that we can play the scale up the neck. I'm gonna take the 4th and 1st string, which are both tuned to D, and we're gonna go up the neck and play the scale. It's gonna start with open, 2nd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th fret, 11th fret, and 12th fret. Now, if you like to make arrangements of songs, this is a really good starter for how to begin to do that. All of the vocal melodies that we're going to find from the majority of our songs are going to come from the major scale, and that's what we just played. So if you're looking for a vocal melody, you can find it here. And later in this video, we're going to take a look at my arrangement of One Last Breath, and we're going to pull out that vocal melody from the chorus. Now, some other things I want to show you would be a couple of chord shapes that I like to use in open D. The first thing is not really a chord idea as much as it is what I would call root and thirds. So we're going to play the root note and the third from every chord in the key of D. We're going to be on strings 6 and 3. This is what it sounds like. All right, and so what each of those are, they all represent a chord from the key of D. The D chord, E minor, F sharp, minor, or D over F sharp, G, A, B minor, A over C sharp, and D. Now, one of my favorite things about open D is the beautiful resonance that comes from the 1st and 2nd strings. So let's hear what that sounds like to walk through those root and third shapes with the 1st and 2nd strings ringing open. So see, just these first couple of ideas, they demystify this tuning and they make this seem a lot more approachable. And that's why I like open D. We're already making good music just from the first couple of things that we've looked at. All right, so let's walk through the chorus melody from One Last Breath. Here's what it sounds like played slow. All right, and here's the melody slowly with the accompaniment. So as you can see, we can take that vocal melody, the chords and the bass line, and we can put it all together into an arrangement. Now over on my Patreon, I have a handful of other tunes that I've done arrangements of in open D tuning. I'd encourage you to go check those out as well. Something that I don't want to gloss over, but I do want to mention, is the fact that open D tuning can be used capoed, just like any other tuning on the guitar. So that if I move the capo up the neck, every time I go up, I'm going to be going up a half step in key. So if open is the key of D, then to put the capo onto the first fret would be the key of E flat. Now I have an E flat chord. Everything's going to work the same. I'm just going to move it up. If I go up another half step, I'm going to be in the key of E. Same going on up. F, F sharp, G, A flat, A, so on and so forth. Now I particularly like to use the capo on the 5th fret to play in the key of G. Because if I strum the open strings, now I have chords in the key of G, scales in the key of G, but much cooler sounding shapes. So if you're playing a lot of songs that are in the key of G and you're looking for a way to spice them up and make them feel better, take all the principles that we learned today and just apply them with the capo on. Well, that's all for today's video on open D tuning. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new and you'll go out and try it yourself. Be sure to check out my other videos on arranging and other tunings available here on my channel. All the resources for today's video are in my bio, so make sure you go down and check those out. Also, take a look at my Patreon where you can grab tabs for some of my other arrangements. You can send me a message through my website, leave me some feedback, let me know how it's going for you, drop a comment, say hello. I'm glad to hear from you. As always, keep jamming.